I'm Owen Sutherland, 23 from Manchester. That's like a dating interview. That. I'm a clothing brand owner. I've run a clothing brand for the last 6 years of my life.
What made you want to build your own clothing brand?
We had a house robbery that led into nearly an attempted murder.
And this is your family home?
Yeah, family home. Now, obviously, I suffered with massive mental health issues because of that. I used the clothing brand as my escape. We will be, in the next couple of weeks, the youngest charity owners in the UK.
What motivated you to do that?
The fact that I've suffered. I think I know better than anyone how to get out of that rut and make something of yourself.
Okay, Owen, welcome to Manners Maketh Man. It's a pleasure having you on. For my audience that doesn't know you already, tell us a bit about yourself and what do you do?
Right. So I'm Owen Sutherland, 23 from Manchester. That's like a dating interview, that. But I'm a clothing brand owner. I've run a clothing brand for the last 6 years of my life. Dabbled in a bit of Forex and run stuff like that. And yeah, that's really it.
So your entrepreneurial journey's been quite unique in the fact you've dived into different areas. What made you want to build your own clothing brand?
Oh, deep story already.
Deep story,
right,
go
okay.
for it.
The brand started from let's say, it was a traumatic time in lockdown. Basically, summarize it quick, we had a house robbery that led into nearly an attempted murder.
And this is your family home?
Yeah, family home.
Right, okay.
To an attempted murder to now, obviously, I suffered with massive mental health issues because of that. I used the clothing brand as my escape to get away from the mental health side. And from that, I built a killer personal brand on social media because of it.
So that like trauma of the housebreaking kind of, do you want to dive into that?
Let's go into it.
What did it entail?
It was a case of, I feel like it was a targeted attack.
Right, okay.
Because I was growing on social media at the time.
Sure.
And people seeing that I had nice things.
Okay. So you think somebody's tried to take advantage of that? I suppose that's part of what society's currently going through, isn't it?
Yeah.
In terms of jealousy.
Yeah.
I think in the UK especially, we have this culture we seem to have created where people want what you have.
Yeah.
And
they
when
don't
you're
wanna-
not,
and they don't want to work for it.
yeah, when you're not taking that normal route, it does feel a bit, it's different to people, and they don't always want to accept it.
No.
So I want to dive into your business,
Okay.
move away from the horrible story.
Okay.
But when you first created your first product, shirt, jumper, what was that kind of feeling that you had?
You know what? I'm not even gonna lie. The first product I ever brought out was absolutely awful.
Really?
I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't research it enough, but I still went with it. No, actually, you know what? The first product was hats, so it wasn't that hard to mess up. They were quite easy. Got them made for £10. Sold them at 50, and I sold 100.
Nice, yeah, it's
So that
good.
was my first bit of profit at 18.
And that was all through social
That
media
was all
marketing?
through social media.
Okay, nice.
But that's because I told the story of what happened.
Yeah.
So people wanted to support. The hats were cool. The logo was all right.
Yeah.
But then I went to T-shirts, and they were nothing crazy till I met a designer.
Right, okay, cool. And then
That's
you got
when
to get your creative side out with
And
him.
I
And
started finding manufacturers then, and that's when it started to pick up. And then obviously I met a few people, big time celebrities. I met H.
okay, nice.
Obviously that video went viral for me on TikTok. So
Nice.
he wore the clothing. He actually did wear the clothing brand. He posted it. I think he was in London. He was out for a meal in London, and he wore it.
Yeah, yeah.
DMs went mad.
It's amazing with that exposure of somebody high up wearing your clothing brand, right?
How quick it can change a business.
Well, bro, it's the same thing. Like if a girl sees Kim Kardashian wearing a piece of clothing,
sold out.
they're on it
Moment,
straight
right.
away. Whereas if you see a girl who's quite fashionable, not everyone's going to follow that trend. So I think it's really important to do that.
Yeah.
What kind of like aesthetic inspirations have you had with your clothing brand? Is there
Like,
any in
what-
particular?
The type of brands that I'm
Trying to replicate, yeah.
I want to be up there with the high end brands. I want to be like a Rude.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
What I'm trying to go for is I want like the young. Well, funny enough, you told me you're a footballer, but like the young
Yeah.
football, like the under 21s,
Okay, nice. Yeah.
got the first paycheck and they want to spend some money, and they always going buy designer.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to be there. That's where I want to be. Or like you represent your Cole Buxton
Yeah.
doing that.
Has
type of
George
stuff.
Heaton, Michael Heaton, played a factor at all? Or?
I like him as an entrepreneur, but he's obviously like massive into fitness.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not really bothered about
Complete
fitness.
opposite.
Not bothered.
That's good.
Not
that's
bothered
cool.
at all.
It's good to. Do you know another thing as well? I feel like when you're creating a clothing brand, it's like anything. You want to dive into your story.
I think that's what people buy into.
Definitely, they're buying into you as the individual, and I think that's part
Yeah.
of personal branding now as well. ties into everything that you do. Your identity as a founder versus the identity of the brand, how do you balance that? How much of yourself is in the brand, and where do you think the brand takes its own life after? I know that's a very complex question.
Yeah, simplify that for me. Go on.
So you're like the identity of the brand. When do you
Right.
think the brand takes its own form in terms of you've told your story, people are buying the product, and then eventually it's
Do you know what? When I think about stuff like that, I think about the way that people make their brand individual to them. Is so, it sounds so stupid, but it's true. Is when they start using ads, like because people buy stuff now because it's me, and that's what they buy into. But if I started pushing ads, which is one thing I don't do, they're just buying it because they like the t-shirt.
Yeah.
So that's where it separates you. Some people buy into you, and some people actually buy into the product.
How important do you think the organic is then with your Instagram? Like having the personal brand, right aesthetic for your Instagram.
Recently, as a team, we have upped everything.
Yeah.
Marketing, our social platforms, just our content. We've proper upped it because we've realised that's what people are buying into.
Sure.
So that's what we've been doing as a team at the moment.
And what part of your story so far have you shown the most, would you say?
I would say the mental health journey. I think that's what people have actually really bought into me for.
Yeah, and like, how do you think like the cultural expectation impacts like men's mental health today, in terms of what they're trying to tell men to believe?
It's a 50-50. Like you see women on social media, and they say men shouldn't speak up. But then you see strong individual men say men should speak up, which obviously I obviously stand by that side.
Yeah.
But it depends what side. People don't want to speak up, and some people do. It's just their character in a person.
I think for me particularly, if we was to really dive into natural gender roles, I think in terms of when both genders are subject to kind of like a violent situation. Let's say you've got a man and a woman on a desert island. They fall into their gender roles a lot quicker than you'd imagine. And I think now, especially with the Western world, we have such comfort to the point where guys are becoming more feminine, women are becoming more masculine.
Men are getting matches.
You know, I've had, exactly, bro, people are buying Labubus. And I'm telling you now, if you own a Labubu or a matcha, block me on Instagram now.
You're swinging that way a little bit.
Well, you know, it's one of them things.
But strawberry matcha one.
I think now having like that mental fortitude of knowing who you are as a man, diving into your masculinity, it's a really strong thing to do. And not everyone's going to understand the path that you're on. You're like, if you're listening to this and you've got a sister or a mum who's really strong into feminism, right? That's fine, but you do have to hold strong into who you are. And if you believe something, you know, being a weak man is no harder than being a strong man.
Yeah.
It's no different. I want to dive back into the brand a little bit.
Okay.
Are there any like non-business routines that consciously like feed your creativity? Is there anything during your day-to-day life where you take the time out to be more creative? Is it a long walk? Is it swimming? Is it sitting by the fire? What is it?
Ooh, you know what? What does my routine isn't like a normal entrepreneur, like, should be up at 5 a.m.
Sure.
I work better at night.
Okay, cool.
I work a lot better at night. So I'll happily sleep in till 10, 11 a.m. But where people on social media, you have to be at 5 a.m.
The 4 a.m. routine.
Yeah, it's not true. Yeah. I work better with my team at night, and that's when I work with my team from the hours of maybe like 7 till 2.
Well, it's the same with Conor McGregor, right? He actually only starts his day at 3 p.m. So it's the way your routine works. And I actually think it's better to dive into that as much as possible.
People slander me, though, for that.
Really?
Yeah, for like waking up dead late.
Yeah.
But
thinking that you're lazy, but you're not.
Yeah, but I'm not.
It's because your entrepreneurial mindset and the framework that you use when you are being productive.
Yeah.
You know, I can work 2 hours in the morning and get more done than people do in a whole year.
Yeah.
Because I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I can dive into that and really focus on that. I think one thing I want to touch on as well is, you know, we live in a world full of distractions, right?
Okay.
You see somebody here doing this, doing that, and you've had the nice things.
Yes.
Right? How do you balance staying present and genuinely enjoying the moment when you've already had all this pleasure?
You know what? I don't think I've ever enjoyed the moment.
Right, okay.
I always feel like I'm chasing more.
Yeah.
I know I've got the tattoo content on me, but I've never physically been at a point where I'm content. I'm always... That may be because I'm raising the bar.
I think there's a virtue in a man that has a certain insatiable outlook on life as well. You know, I realised myself that I'm going to probably climb a mountain. That doesn't mean the job's done. And I want to still climb another mountain.
Yeah.
You know, you look at Genghis Khan, you look at Napoleon, all these people, they've reached that top of the mountain, but it's never enough. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Society's going to tell you there's something wrong with that, but that's okay.
I feel like I just keep raising the bar higher and higher, which is totally fine as a man.
Yeah.
You always want to keep striving for more. That's just in our instincts.
There's an element of gratitude there as well, because being in that present moment, you know, I see it if I go to like a comedy show and I'm waiting for that specific comedian to come on, I'm just like, get this guy off, get this guy off.
Yeah.
And I can't sit still because my mind's like, I could be in Dubai and I see somebody post up an Ibiza and I'm like, that looks good. I want to be there.
Oh, you're not one of them.
Sometimes
Ibiza.
I can be.
Ibiza.
Maybe not Ibiza for me, but like
Okay.
if I use
I'll
it
let
as
you
an
off.
example, let me off on that one. Dubai is like, if I was to go anywhere, is a place for me. But in a world where like so many people are like copying trends, chasing what's popular, how do you tap into that internal compass to kind of go, this is my route, this is my lane, I want to keep on going down this path?
It comes all straight back to the personal brand.
Yeah.
It works a charm for me. I know. So with the brand, we ran it for 3 years, stopped for 2 years because I fell out of love with the industry. Come back into it, rebranded, didn't think anything of it. I thought, you know what, I'll get it back up and going again.
Sure.
Designed 3 t-shirts. Didn't think, I ordered 75 t-shirts. I ordered 75. I sold 1,000 in the first 24 hours.
Insane.
Was not expecting it, but I didn't think my personal brand was that strong. And that's where it's all come from. I feel like I could, without seeing me like a dick, I know I could drop a product. Obviously, I won't drop a product I wasn't in love with. But any product I drop will always sell.
Is there any like clothing branding strategies in terms of when you're dropping an item that you could give to the audience?
In what sense?
In sense of when you're about to do a launch, how would you approach that?
Well, we did a video right before we launched, maybe a few hours before.
Sure.
I don't know if you've seen it. It was literally saying like, run, don't walk, run to Zara.
Oh, okay, nice, cool.
Didn't think anything of it. Not had a viral video on my TikTok page for a good few months. Boom, blowing up. And obviously, I think that's where it's come from.
Is the majority of when you're posting on TikTok?
Yeah, but then I could sit on a TikTok live straight after it.
Yeah.
Gain around 300-400 people. Maybe over the whole live stream of 2 hours, you'll have about 2,000 people. But the second I'm speaking to them, don't even have to really sell my products. The second they get talking to me, they're already fell in love and then they're buying.
I think now where I see personal branding, social media changing is, you know, you can sit down, that familiarity you have with the celebrity, you see them every day, you build up trust with them. So it's actually about getting in front of people more than so. What you say obviously is important, but your aim is to get in front of people as much as possible. And for me now, where information has become so cheap through AI, the real crux of what you're trying to achieve is in-person events.
Okay.
Doing masterminds, because you're actually going to learn, you're going to remember this. You're going to remember this podcast.
100%.
I'm going to remember this podcast.
I hope so.
I'm going to say to myself, like, Owen, like, when he said that, I remembered that.
Yeah.
And that's because we're having an in-person interaction. I want, along the side of what you were saying with men's mental health, I want guys to dive into more in-person interactions more.
Yeah.
It's more authentic, you build connections, and it's longer lasting. I want to go back into your story a little bit, just to get to know you a little bit better. From your experience with your life so far, what you've gone through, putting yourself in difficult situations, in my opinion, is the entrepreneurial journey, right? Because you're breaking out of the traditional system to do something different, right? You've probably got people saying to you, why is he doing that? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. He's going down a weird path. I'm not sure he should do that. You're going to hear all this advice. What mentality do you have when you have outside noise?
I just know what my mentality is, full stop. I'm just unbeatable.
Do you think it's because you've put yourself in difficult situations?
I've not put myself in situations. I've been put in the worst type of situation that I think anyone could experience.
Sure.
And I still overcome it. And I've still built this crazy life at 23 for myself.
Do you think you're religious?
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk to me about
Yeah.
that. Go for it.
Depends. It's like if I'm having a bad day. But you'll see me sit there at my little office and have a little pray.
Yeah.
I'll pray to God.
I think it's interesting because when people come to the end of their lives, they seem to be religious all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And I think we are spiritual beings living in that physical reality.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you really tap into that, I mean, if I know that, in a way, we are kind of irrelevant in this whole journey to a degree, you've got to write your story. But if you can be humble enough to listen to somebody's perspective and stand back and just understand it for what it is and speak with each other, have conversation, I think that's a more morally right thing to do. But it's also, you're going to learn more from that.
Yeah.
And I think if you have the mentality all the time that I know everything, you're not going to progress in life. So it's really important that you tap into that, and you're a learner. You learn every single day. So what's the best piece of advice you've ever heard or received?
I remember hearing one from a friend of mine, and it's always stuck. Open every door you get a chance to open.
That's great.
Just every opportunity you get, take it.
Yeah, 100%. And I also think you need to create your own opportunities. They don't just come around. You do have to put yourself out there. And I think if you're in a position where you have no money, you have no relationship, what is knocking on that door actually going to do? You need to go and knock on the door before you go and get the opportunity.
Do you know where the best place to be is?
Go for
rock bottom.
Yeah, rock bottom. Because there's only one way up.
You can't go any lower.
Definitely.
You can only go up.
Yeah. I think there's having a balance there as well, because I had an interesting conversation with somebody about this the other day of, you could have a fuckload of trauma, that could really set you off on a path you don't want to go down.
Bingo.
Or you could have, you can have the trauma that affects you. For me personally, if I was to tell you about my story, through my football career, I've had a lot of rejection. Now, that could take me down a certain route that I didn't want to go down. Instead, I had that fight in me saying, you're not going to beat me. I'm not going to let you beat me. This is my life. I'm going to make my own rules.
Yeah.
I'm going to go down my own path. And I think a lot in the self-improvement space, they dive into discipline a lot. Now, I think discipline has a very negative connotation to the word that doesn't really operate well when you tell somebody, you're going to hear this all the time, have motivation. Yeah. And then people are going to say, no, you need discipline. I actually think the real crux of it is self-regulation. Understanding that if I have 6 tasks in the morning that need to get done, regardless of how I feel, I just need to tick them off. And also, I think self-regulation is actually a nicer word to consume and just go off the back of. Because it's like I'm actually self-regulating everything about my life. Yeah. I've got a goal, and part of how I kind of teach people out of this rut that they're in is, you've got goals, fantastic. But these goals could be big goals, right? And actually what you're better off doing is creating a calendar and say to yourself, this is how manifestation actually works. In order for me to get to this goal, to end up at this location, I must tick off these things per day. Yeah. And until I tick off those things, number one, I can't build up self-confidence. But number two, I'm not going to hit my goal, right? So you're actually better off chucking the goals out the window and just keeping a basic calendar there.
Okay.
Is there anything day to day with your basic calendar that is a non-negotiable? You keep it there every single day. I know you said you didn't go to the gym. Is there anything that replaces it?
You know what I do like at the moment that I've been doing quite often? Well, most days, paddle. I'd say that's still...
Nice.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what the craze is at the moment, but...
It's come about, isn't it? I've never played paddle. My best mate wants me to play paddle so bad.
That's my sense of like fitness in the morning. I'd go and do that most mornings with the boys.
How long's a paddle session? Like half an hour?
Hour?
Yeah.
But you'd be very surprised what can get done on a paddle court.
Yeah, sure.
Like there's been some meetings closed on a paddle court.
Nice. That's perfect. I mean, with your like network as well, when did you kind of go into that stage of networking? Did it start personal brand first, or did you have a good network from school?
I built up a killer phone book, as you'd like to say, from the age of 17, 18.
Yeah.
I've always been the one, I'm not a shy person. If I see someone with a nice car, I'm going straight over to them. I'm not bothered.
Do you get pissed off by that when somebody's got a nicer car than you?
I won't say I get pissed off. It gives me a bit of hunger. Like, well, you've got that.
Yeah.
I want it.
Yeah.
What have you done to get it, though?
But do you think, though, like, when you get that car,
No, you want something better.
you want something better?
Of course you do.
Yeah, definitely. It's back to that thing again of...
I think that's just being a man, though.
Being a man, yeah.
100%.
I think when you don't have that competitive edge inside you, you're really lacking...
You are.
You're lacking something because,
You want to be better than everyone.
we're here to evolve, bro.
We're here to be better than everyone.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, momentum has a price in itself. When you're actually trying to start something, let's say you're pushing a car. To start off with, you're leaning on that car really heavily. You're trying to get it going. And little by little, as you go, that car's going to move.
Yeah.
And you're building up that momentum to get there. I think a big part of life is, it's not even about the journey or the destination. It's who you become along the way. It's about building...
People say the journey is better than the end result.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
I believe it's who you become along the way. I think that's more important because I think you're building up your mentality and who you are as an individual to be able to deal with new problems that life throws at you. That's really what it is, because it's like, I actually sometimes pray to God and say, give me more challenges. This shit's getting too easy. Give me more, because I understand that, we live in a generation of people that want comfort.
Yeah.
You want to dive into the comfort as much as possible. And years ago, that was never a thing. You could never just scroll on your phone, see a girl half naked, watch Netflix. It's impossible. You couldn't have done it. Yeah. And there's a saying where the 14-year-old boy has more access than King Henry VIII did to women, even though King Henry VIII was a bit of a player. But you get my point. And I think now I try and dive into the uncomfortable things as much as possible. Is it that cold shower? Is it going to the gym early in the morning? And I don't do it to be this like fitness guru or motivator.
I don't see you post about it.
No, exactly. I do it because I think it's going to teach me to do harder things. Okay. That nervous feeling that you have inside your body, the only reason why it's there is because you're anticipating what the future might be. You're scared of the outcome that could possibly happen instead of just diving into it and going with the flow. The only way you're going to build wealth, network, and be where you want to be is by going with the flow. This is our first go at life, right? And we talk to ourselves as if we've been here before. Like we've done this 1,000 times. We've already figured it all out. But the truth is that none of us have ever done this before. There's no rehearsal. There's no second attempt. We can look back. We can't look back on guidance. We're all improvising. And yet we put so much pressure on ourselves to have perfect career paths, the perfect brand, the perfect relationships. But how could we? If this is just our first attempt, then mistakes aren't just expected, they're required. Do you lean into difficult things and accept the mistakes, or do you put shame on when you have mistakes? Because it's a natural human condition to do that, in my opinion.
I do like to make mistakes. Obviously, it always makes you grow as an entrepreneur.
Definitely.
You've got to, that's how you learn. Like, the best way to learn is messing up millions of times.
You learn nothing by winning, right?
It's just easy then. It's very easy. I'd rather lose a million times and then succeed.
Yeah, I think throwing yourself into hard situations is only going to be a net benefit. And if you can learn from your mistakes, it's actually quite a refreshing thing as well, in my opinion, because it humbles you back to who you are. And it was interesting because I saw somebody talk about this the other day of, these celebrities, if you used to take a footballer, for example, right? You're in an academy your whole life. Yeah. And I can tell you from an academy player that you turn up with your wash bag and that's all you need. Your boots are cleaned. Young academy players have done it for you. You've got your towel out. You've got your kit out. You've got everything for you. If you go up and you grow up like that and you have it your whole life, when you do get to your end goal, not only is it less pleasurable, so you don't actually have that balance of, I was playing on a shit pitch, now I'm playing it on a nice pitch. But I actually think what would be better when you do get that success from all the hard work, that you go and check yourself again. Is that something that you would consider doing, maybe?
I have no disrespect to anyone who's come from wealthy families, stuff like that, but then they've not got the drive as like me or my team. Or I don't know if you come from a wealthy background or not.
I was brought up in a way where I had to fight for my stuff, and that's why I'm here today, because I think I've been able to really... Every situation I realise it's a competitive situation. I consider myself the trial king.
Well,
right?
there we go then.
In the UK, I would consider myself one of the best trialists in any situation because I thrive under pressure. That's what I'm good
What the
at.
pressure's made.
If there's no crowd, if there's no like intense situation, I'll probably underperform. And it's the same, like even if I relate it back to when I was playing table tennis at school, for example, I was better when I was playing against the champion, the better player, county champion, because you upgrade your mentality, your standards when you're there. And I think that's why I always say you need to put yourself in the room before. Like you said, put yourself, knock on the door first.
Yeah.
Go through the door, see what's on the other side.
But yeah, these kids that come from wealthy backgrounds, they've just not got the hunger and the drive.
Why do you think that is, though? Do you think it's because...
Because they know in the back of their head that if when their mum or dad dies, they've just got inheritance.
They've got
sat there.
inheritance, yeah.
There's no drive in them.
Yeah.
Whereas I've not come from a wealthy background. It's either I'm going to make it or that's it.
Yeah.
There's no choice.
It's back to that survival thing, right?
And I don't lose. I've told you this. I do not lose.
Don't lose.
I promise you, I will not lose.
I think that's a great mentality. It's like whatever you throw at me, you know,
There's no chance.
I'm gonna absorb it and go through it.
I will find a way around any scenario to make sure I'm the best.
Yeah, 100%. I think, is there any like situations you've been in recently where that's been the case, where you've gone, this is really hard, I'm not sure I can overcome this?
Well, only I think a select hand people will know what me and my business partner have been starting. So we're going down the route of we will be in the next couple of weeks the youngest charity owners in the UK, and we are opening a men's mental health charity.
Fantastic.
Obviously, it's going to be, there's a massive long-term goal for it, which I spoke about to you before in Nando's.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, the aim that's been challenging, it's not easy to start a charity. I thought it was going to be plain saying like setting up a company on government house or whatever it is, company's house.
Company's house, yeah.
57 pages that need filling out. It needs to be
crazy.
done. But in the end, the reward's it's gonna be there.
What motivated you to do that?
The fact that I've suffered. I think I know better than anyone how to get out of that rut and make something of yourself. I think I'm the perfect example of that.
And if we dive back into that men's mental health crisis right now, it's a huge thing. I've spoken to a lot of people about it, and it's something that is a mission of mine as well. I almost feel like a moral obligation to help men now.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons why I started the podcast, called it Manners Maketh Man, was all because I wanted gentlemen like yourself to come on who's had interesting experiences and then to give their perspective so guys can watch this and feel confident moving forward with their lives.
Feel motivated when they watch something like this.
100%. It's like anything is possible.
Yeah.
If you put your mind to it. And I know that's such a cliche wording and it's all the same thing, but as soon as you decide this is the day, I'm going to make this decision today, nothing's going to change, nothing's going to deviate from my mission, I'm going to make sure that I'm becoming this person, there's nothing else that's going to change. That's when you're going to find success. And you need a bit of grit, you need a bite, you need a driving factor. For me, my driving factor was always, I've had a lot of rejection. I was never going to finish my life and look back and say that person was right. No way.
No.
Not going to happen. If you could give one piece of advice to any guy listening to this who's struggling with men's mental health, what would it be?
Go out there and get it.
Go out there and get it.
Go out there and get it.
Is
There
it
always is, as I can experience, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. There always is.
Definitely.
No matter how... Someone told me recently, when I was feeling down, literally not even long ago, still have my bad days and stuff like that, someone said, it's only a bad 24 hours. It's only a bad day.
Definitely.
It's not a bad week, it's not a bad month, it's just a bad day.
Definitely. It's about getting through that 24 hours and believing that there is going to be light at the tunnel. And it may take you a year, it may take you 2 years. And another thing that I want guys to understand is this societal expectation of you going to get a 10 out of 10 woman, going to get £100 million in your bank account, right? You may not get fame. You may not get the nice car, but you can have the right mental framework every day to say, my heart's beating, I've still got potential, I can still do something great. And I think as a guy as well, we've actually got a longer time frame than you actually may think.
Okay.
You know, I'm 22 years old.
Yeah.
I realise I've not even hit my peak yet. I'm still going. I've still got room to grow. And actually, you need to be aware of time, especially. If you're a young man watching this, the first thing I recommend you going to do is get in the gym. Because what the gym is going to allow you to do is it's going to give you the mental framework to have the self-regulation, to have the discipline and it's such, to then go into other endeavours. And that's for me why I've been able to go into entrepreneurship. My football, waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, training in the cold rain, being told you're on the bench today, that's allowed me to sit on my computer for hours per day as I'm building up to achieve what I want to achieve now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as a guy especially, your life as a guy is never going to be easy.
No.
You know, you're going to have that girl, she's probably going to break up with you. If you've not been in a relationship yet, you've got that to look forward to. That's absolutely fine. But have the emotional intelligence to go, you know what, I can deal with this.
Yeah.
It's not a problem for me, because it's just another step in the journey.
Mm-hmm.
So with this men's mental health charity that you want to start,
Yeah.
what is your goal with it? Where do you see it going in the future? What's your mission in terms of how many guys do you want to help? We'll start with that question. How many guys do you want to help?
It's not even, I can't even put a number on it.
Unlimited.
As many as I possibly can.
I think that's great. So it's impact, bit of leg.
I want to do as many people as I can. I want to change as many lives as I can.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
What's the age frame with that? Is there?
I don't think there is. I don't.
No.
I couldn't put one on it. It doesn't matter if you're 16 years old or you're 60 years old and you suffer. I'll still help you.
That's great. And what is that service? What does that look like?
The long-term goal with the charity is from an experience from myself, which I told you before. I'll explain it on here. When I was ready to take my life, and luckily I got found by the police and my friends. They took me to hospital. And my friend sat there with me, and it's a gloomy place. It's not a nice place to be. No one enjoys going to hospital. Just brings back traumas from other scenarios, maybe a family member passing or something like that. And my boy looked at me and he goes, "Should we just go home and have our own chat?" I went, "Yeah, let's do that."
Leaning on a brother is really essential, isn't it?
Having that bond, which I've never had a strong friendship till the last 2 years. I've always jumped from friendship group, because I feel like the more you elevate as a man, if your friends aren't elevating with you, they're going to get jealous.
How do you go from that like transactional relationship then, as you go higher, where it's less transactional and it's like more transformational in terms of, you know, if you come to me and I'm a really open cat and I say, "Owen, you know, we've met today, right? But I know as me as an individual, my friends always say to me when Marty's on a night out, he won't be chatting up a bird. He might do that in the last 10 minutes of the night."
Well, you're a 4 a.m. job, aren't you?
I'm a 4 a.m. job. I only need 10 minutes. Give me 10 minutes, baby. I'm on it. But in the meantime, I'm looking at that guy sitting on that bench and I'm mentoring him. I've got hundreds of videos of my mates recording me on a night out. You know, I could pull them up. We'll pull them up with the clip of me talking to men and getting them through their problems. By the end of the night, they're thinking, "Who is this little curly-haired twit that's completely changed my mentality?" And now I'm thinking I can start that business. Because what it is, it's like that motivation of getting somebody out of there. To start off with, you're guiding them through the tonality of your voice, right? That's the first pick me up. And I think I'll ask you the question again with that transactional relationship. How do you interpret dealing with somebody who doesn't want to go out and meet new people, have new friends? How do you deal with something like that?
What, as a friend in my group? Or?
If you were a guy giving somebody advice in terms of, you know, I want, let's say, Fred to get out of this rut, how would you deal with Fred in terms of Fred doesn't want to go and meet new people? Because for me, I think guys, we go through this like lonely pandemic of I'm alone and I don't feel like I could get out of that. I can't talk to my girlfriend because she's going to see my vulnerability.
Yeah, think I'm a weak man.
I'm not sure I want to go to my friend here because I played Xbox with him for years and he thinks I'm a prick if I go up to him and I'm being vulnerable. So part of it's vulnerability as well. But if you was to give advice to a guy and say, go out and meet new people.
You just got to put yourself out of the comfort zone. You've just got to bite the bullet.
Is it all comfort zone in a way?
Going out there meeting new people?
Yeah, definitely. Because I think that's the kind of only way you can unleash. Like, as a guy, you hear it all the time of, you know, we're bottling everything in.
Yeah.
I do it. I think a lot of guys do deep down.
Yeah, they do.
They do it, right? And some people can take it if you've got really high emotional intelligence. Other people think I'm not being seen. And for me, especially with the men's mental health crisis, I think the actual pandemic of it is we've got a big portion of the public of guys that just haven't been seen yet. And I think if you can kind of understand that and realise, right, okay, I'm not being seen by the world. I want to be seen by the world. I want to be seen by my crush, so she rates me. I like her, right? She doesn't know who I am yet. It's actually about, you've got one thing to consider, and that is, right, nobody knows who you are. Like we said, you're right at the bottom. Now you have the opportunity to go, I'm either going to check out, take the black pill, or I'm going to take the red pill, and I'm just going to go for it. And believe me now, I think if you go for it, there will always be light at the tunnel.
100%.
I think that's a big part of it. Just starting off, going for it.
You know what? I feel like as you're trying to build as a man, you shouldn't be looking for a girl.
Yeah.
Generally shouldn't.
How long is that period before you go in?
It depends what you class as success.
Yeah.
If you're chasing $5,000 a month, don't get a girl to hit $5,000 a month.
Do you think though, like, for me personally, I've had this thing in my life where I've always been grabbing a little bit. And this year I've stopped grabbing and I've started letting things flow to me naturally. And what I mean by that is, you know, until I get that Ferrari, until I get that Rolex, I'm going to be satisfied. I've had those things and they give you a little bit of satisfaction. And then you're like, you know, I spent all this time not learning what female nature's like. I actually think, if anything, the fact that you've had a 3-year relationship and I haven't probably means I could watch a podcast, which I do. I've been alongside dating creators. I've learned a lot about female psychology. You're probably going to know a lot more because you've actually experienced it.
Yeah. I agree with you. But, yeah, I would say I've got the experience, obviously, in the relationship of 3 years. But I think as I was trying to build, having someone there who is argumentative or not the future you can see, like your futures have to align.
Yeah, definitely.
They have to, or because you could be chasing here and they could be chasing down there, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And they've got to understand. I think dating an entrepreneur, it's not like dating Phil, who's a scaffolder. It's no different because you know where he is and you know what he's doing 24/7.
But also you've got that thing inside your brain where it's like, you know, if I need to get work done at 10 o'clock at night and she wants to watch a movie,
it's not happening.
It's not happening. But also it's a case of you have the clarity, the mental clarity to go no, and you have the ability to say no, which is difficult.
If that's the right woman, she'll be like, you go do your work.
Yeah, 100%. And they're very hard to find. Like, it's not as easy as it looks.
As I've become to, let's say, a certain level of an entrepreneur, I started to tolerate less from looking for a female. Where I used to be like, oh, you're pretty, come here.
Yeah.
Now, certain things will put me off instantly.
Yeah, for sure. What are those things?
It's going to sound so mad, but because I don't drink, a drunk, sloppy girl.
Sure.
Instant turn off.
I suppose you're not. Owen's boys laughing.
Bro, it's an instant turn off. If I'm in a club, and I'm seeing your sloppy jumping, no, I don't care.
There's no self-control, right?
No.
Yeah, which is unattractive.
What else wouldn't I go for? Like, this is one I'll stand by. If I'm working, I do not care what I'm doing in work.
Sure.
Do not argue with me. It is done on the spot.
Yeah.
But that's because I know what I'm worth.
But it's also setting the foundation early in the relationship to say, you know what? This is my life. Do you want to be a part of this life? If it's not for you, feel free to check out early. But whilst we're doing this thing, which is complicated, by the way, we're human beings, we all have emotions, right? Anything could happen along this journey that at no point you turn around to me and say the words, stop working. Or, I've told you the foundations and now you're complaining about the foundations.
I've said that before. I've always said to a girl, when they go, am I your first priority? No.
Yeah.
Why are you going to be my first priority? I'm trying to make a multi-million pound empire. You're not my main priority.
The basis of a high value man, a woman can never be your priority. And it doesn't mean that you don't love them and you don't care for them. You're actually a gentleman in the fact that you will look after a woman if she's showing up in the correct way.
Correct.
Right? Now, the problem with society and what we've been taught is she's a princess, right?
Yeah.
So she can just show up, and just because she's beautiful, the rules don't apply to her of how life actually works.
Do you know one thing that if someone ever says to me, "What's your type?" and this is very controversial, and you might agree, you might disagree.
It's fine.
I will always go for a girl who comes from a rich family.
Okay. Why is that? Is it because of intelligence?
Intelligence. I think they have been brought up better. I think they've got better manners.
Yeah.
I just think, and if they follow any footstep in their mother, who's already dating a high successful entrepreneur, you've got it. You're perfect. And I feel like as relationships I've had, or like talking stages, girls who haven't had the wealthier background, if I go round and I'm having a conversation with a dad, to me it feels like, well, to them hearing my story, they'll feel like I'm bragging.
Sure.
But if I go and sit in, let's say, a random girl, Jess, whose dad is worth 100 million, he's gonna like that her daughter's boyfriend is chasing
something. Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, I see a young version of me and you.
I think the biggest problem we have right now with the male and female dynamic is girls, especially in the Western world, they're not actually that bothered about getting a man anymore. Really what they're bothered about is being seen with a high value guy, making sure that I've got the Instagram post and the wedding ring looks good. And it's very important that you pick a humble girl that is liking you for you. I think now in the Western world especially, if you're a guy and you also have a girlfriend who wants to do these really successful things, maybe own a business, you have to be prepared that she's going to have a level of masculinity in itself.
I quite like that though. I like it.
I don't mind it. It's okay. Because also at the same time, it's like...
But I think we understand it because we are entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I think, as I said, Phil the scaffolder would crumble. He would crumble. He'd be like, why is my girl earning more money than me?
So would you openly say then that you would be prepared to date a girl that was striving for success?
Yes, 100%. It depends what she wants.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop her from pursuing whatever dream. But I also know in 20, 30 years' time, she's going to be a housewife. The main goal for me is to have a housewife and just look after the one thing that's going to be the biggest thing in my life, my kids.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
I hope we return away from the psyop where women want to have children again, because I think when women dive into that natural gender role of having children, it's such a beautiful thing that, I mean, even if you look at how the third world countries compared to the Western countries are populating right now, we are failing in terms of, the UK especially is a Christian country.
Yeah.
The reason why they target Christianity so much, if you look at the Olympics, when they put on that slandering of the Last Supper, it was done as a tool to split up the family. And if they can do that, they win, because they don't see you as an individual with a perspective, with an outlook on life. They see you as an ant in a jar, right? Okay, and all it is right. If this ant in the jar isn't doing as it's told, we'll just bring in new people. They don't mind. They're not interested that women don't want to have children anymore. I hope, and this isn't for the men out there, this is for the women, fall into that. Be okay with that. Go and find a guy who understands himself.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to do that, because love is a beautiful thing. And as soon as you dive into that, you're going to be a lot more satisfied. Don't finish your life in regret because you've been marketed a certain thing. You've been told that being a girl boss outweighs being a mother to a beautiful family. Right?
Yeah.
It's so true. And I think now in the Western world, that's all it is. It's a psyop. A lot of people don't believe the things that they believe. You've been told that's the way.
Yeah. Your friends have told you.
How do you deceive away from that? How do you as an individual, because for me, I always have a saying, which is science gathers knowledge faster than society gathers wisdom. In other words, the average woman would rather choose beauty over brains because the average man can see better than he can think. So essentially what it means is we're living life of aesthetics all the time.
Yeah.
She's a good looking girl. I might go and meet her, right? And then you flip it on his head a little bit and say, if I can allow manipulation to find out where my enemy wants me to go, then use my mind to break the trap and punish the perpetrators, in that way, I am then putting myself in a position where whoever's trying to control me, and by the way, there is a higher power trying to control you.
Oh, yeah.
You are not the king of all kings yet. If you want to be at that stage, it's going to take a lot of hard work and you're going to have to move a lot of chess pieces. But I want people to walk away and start thinking for themselves. Start thinking for yourself a little bit. Do I actually want to eat this? Do I want to go here? Am I just going here because it's a popular thing to do? Is there any place in the future that you'd like to live? Is the goal to live in the UK forever, or is it...
I want to go and live my rest of my life in the south of France.
When do you want to do that?
Let me make 100 million first,
and then you'll do it.
I'll be gone.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I feel like that's just where you meet the next level of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
That is where everyone goes. I don't want to be going... Like, I don't do the Ibiza. I don't do the Marbs holidays. And they don't scream out to me.
Sure. I've never done them, so I wouldn't know.
No, I wouldn't.
No.
It wouldn't be a first or a last choice to go Marbella bank holiday or Ibiza for closing. None of that really appeals to me. Because, one, you're not going to meet anyone there who's going to bring any value to your life.
Yeah.
You're not. Two, the females that are there are not the ones who I want in my life.
Yeah. I do have to battle with that a lot with my mindset, because I always think, am I missing out on this thing? But I actually don't think you do.
No, you don't.
No.
I don't get the FOMO.
No, I don't get the fear of missing out either. I just don't. It doesn't really enter my mind.
Maybe 2 years ago, when I was on the way up, I would have thought, yeah, get me to Ibiza, give me all the blondes. Now I just think yous are not, like, you could never be a wife. Like, someone has to wife you one day.
Yeah.
And I've heard stories of what goes on at them type of things.
Sure.
That's going to be someone's wife. Could never be me.
I also think another thing as well, they're trying to erode that out of men as much as possible. To almost think like, you have to bend to our rules now. It's like, no, I fucking don't.
No.
I always do anything you have to say.
The boys will back me on this. And they know one statement I'll say to any girl who tries to confrontate with me or who is trying to get into some sort of relationship. I'll go, you know who the prize is. And they all see they're both laughing because you know it. Am I right?
Yeah.
I'll say to any girl, I'll say, you know who the prize is, and they'll go, well, I'm the prize. I go, you're not, because the second I dead things off you will be back, because you know where.
Well, I suppose another thing as well, if we was to like these little chats,
they know it as well. They know it as well.
If you take away that side of things and look at it from a different angle as well. It's more to do with the fact that a woman doesn't actually want to be the prize. Because if you want it to be the prize...
Do you not think?
No, they don't. Not at all. Because they don't feel in their nature when they do that. I'll tell you a story which is super interesting. So imagine you're a caveman and you have a family, right? Now, this is why girls can get over men way quicker. And this is how hypergamy works and how their nature dives into getting the best option.
You think a girl can get over a man quicker than a man can get over a girl?
100%. I'll prove it right now.
Okay, let's hear this.
So imagine you're a man, you have a family, a wife and a son, and you live in a cave. Now, your job as the man, right? Women are brought up to nurture and care. That's why they're feminine. That's why they don't have muscles. If you dive back into the old time of, we're on an island, women will go and do the caring, men will go and hunt. That's why we're tall, muscly, right? So you go back to the cave situation of the man goes out and hunts in the morning for the food. He comes across a saber-toothed tiger, right? We're in the olden days here. That tiger eats that guy. Now, that tiger, nature says that tiger has senses. It can smell. So that tiger, that saber-toothed tiger, will track the footsteps of that guy from the morning. Now, unless that woman isn't a complete idiot, she now has, because of her survival, because she's not born with muscles and she's strong, she can't compete with a tiger, to go and find a replacement pretty quickly. Otherwise, she and the baby dies. And that is why women get over men way quicker. It's nature. That's all it is, right? This is why women are ruthless. They're a mirror. They're a great reflection of what you've done. Women are a great reflection of who you are as a guy. I'll tell you something really interesting from my personal story. I don't believe now you talk to a woman if you're on a night out emotionally and a playful way. I believe you talk to them logically, which is a huge paradigm and it's a huge shift that most guys haven't learned how to make yet. The reason why is because it's a shock to the system. She's thinking, where the fuck is this guy? Who the fuck is this guy? Like, he's weird. Like, he's different. I trust that. They want to they want to trust the guy that they're with.
You know what? After you said that story, I thought about it while you were saying it.
Yeah.
And I agree. The second a man and a woman come out of a relationship, a girl will go and sleep with 10 lads,
Yeah.
but a lad will go and make 10x his income.
Yeah, because it's a different thing, right? And I think with women, they don't respect self-improvement. If you turn around to a girl and you say, right, you're watching their stories, a guy who goes to the gym 24/7, right? They don't like it. They're not interested in self-improvement because women, in general, the reason why women, it's not just physical, why women don't go to wars and stuff and they don't fight for legacy as much. The reason why is because they're born with their value. Men have to build their value. We're a lot more stubborn in our perceivance of life and what we're being told. Women are the ultimate 304s. They're the easiest people to market to.
Yeah.
For consumerism.
Yeah.
100%. She needs to look the best.
Mm-hmm.
It's a display, right? It's the man as well of doing the peacock. You get the stuff. I'm here. I've done it.
Yeah.
Women don't care about materialistic items, not as much as you may think.
On a man or on themselves?
On a man. I think girls, right, the interesting thing about how they perceive it, they think, there's two things you can do as a guy, right? You can either build your value in the materialistic world, but not know how to talk to women. That's going to leave you in a cheating situation. You might be in a stable situation, but she's going to cheat, right? Or you can make the decision of, you know, I'm going to learn female psychology. I'm going to build my value a little bit slower. And then when the time comes, now I can hold it down a little bit better. There is no route around not learning female psychology.
I feel like you're a love bomber. You love bomb women.
I'll get a woman to fall in love with me in seconds. 100%. I've had girls mesmerise over me just the way I talk. Just because I can...
Talk.
I'll guide them down a path that they didn't even know they could go down.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Which is the real trick of the trade. That's what you want to be able to do.
When they speak to me sometimes, like, yeah, you intrigue me.
Yeah.
It's because I'm very quiet.
Well,
but I give them mysterious that, what's underneath it?
You need to be a chapter novel that they unravel every day. She doesn't know this about me yet. She doesn't know this about me yet. Girls get bored, bro.
You give it all at once.
Give it all at once, you're in a tricky spot. 100%. Bear that in mind, whoever's listening. One thing I would say on that topic as well, which is interesting, is, you know, guys now, they'll walk into these bars and they instantly feel like they need to overqualify themselves to women. But really, you know, girls have heard that all before now.
They've heard everything.
They've got the attention. Pull your attention back. Watch what happens.
Do you know what
when you pull your attention back?
I play the nonchalant game.
Yeah. Play the long game.
I make him come to me.
Life is long if you decide it's long. When people say life is short, no, it's fucking not. You've just not positioned yourself correctly yet.
Yeah.
Because life for me is not short.
No.
It's pardon me. It's I think the saying is pasakote bitalaga.
English.
Which is pasakote bitalaga, which is short steps, long vision.
Got you.
Right. So you're taking many steps to get to where you want to be, but the long-term vision is there. You know where you want to be.
Yeah.
So relationships not on the cards at the minute. Not going for it.
No, we've not got one at the moment.
No. And you don't want to dive into that, or you do?
You dive into it.
No. I mean, like, do you want?
I got one?
Do you want a girlfriend?
Yeah, I do. I feel like I'm at the point now where I've achieved quite enough, where I could have I would like more emotional support.
How old are you, bro?
23.
Older or like same age? What do you think you'd have to for it to make sense?
I don't know, because you could go for a 21-year-old who's dead mature, but then you could also go for a 26 who's out here still in the clubs.
Back to what we were saying, another interesting point is, I think as a guy, you are built in the forest essentially of like if you're alone. There's like an old ritual is they used to chuck men into the forest, boys into the forest to become men, and they'd come back and they'd become men. With girls, they don't deal with trauma as much.
No.
And I think what we're doing is we're creating a society where girls are experiencing way too much trauma. And when I meet them, I'm looking at them, I'm thinking, you were never supposed to live that life. Like, it was never... trauma affects women a lot more, and they become quite bitter with it. Whereas men become fortified and a lot stronger. So for me, when I hear a girl say, don't you want a girl with experience?
Instant red flag.
I'd rather show you the world, and we do it that way instead. It's probably a lot better.
It's fucking romantic, isn't it?
Romantic. How would you go about increasing your frequency? Because I think, in a way, to become successful, you do need to have a certain level of energy that feeds off to people. I believe, my belief is that we are energy creatures, and you need a high vibration. How would you go about increasing it?
It's like aura. I feel like you have to have some sort of aura nowadays.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that can come from the way you speak to people, the way you dress, what watch you got on, and what car you pull up in.
Interesting, because obviously you're building your clothing brand. How important do you think it is to dress well?
I think it's I think if you're going at it from, it doesn't matter if it's a girl looking at you, or a potential business opportunity, or person who you're trying to invest, who wants to invest in you.
Sure.
The first thing they're gonna look at is how you present yourself.
We do, as humans, judge a book by its cover, right?
100%.
Yeah, and I almost think
it's like if you came today, and when you met up with me and you came in like a tracksuit and some beat up shoes.
Yeah.
I was like, this podcast it's just not gonna be good.
Yeah.
But because you came well dressed and you spoke proper, I already knew it would be a good podcast.
Believe it or not, these shoes were meant to get sold. They don't actually fit me, but we're making it work.
No one knows that.
No one knows. They do now, but it's all right. So yeah, I mean, like, increasing that energy is actually not just about internal, but it's also external as well. Same with social media. I actually think there's a real opportunity there to almost enhance that in a way, because I believe we have two sides of the coin, right? You are who you are when nobody's watching, right? You may be downing a Red Bull, you've got Doritos in your living room, right? Whatever it is. But that's not really who you are when you step out. In many ways, it's not about having this persona and fake confidence, because I don't believe in that, and I think people can sense it. But what you're saying is really interesting, because it's like, it's not just internal, it's also external with what you wear. Having that image that people can see and say, do you know what? I actually think he's got his shit together.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with doing that. With your clothing brand at the minute, how big is your team?
There's 4 people.
4 people. What do they do?
It's going to sound so mad at 23 to say this now. I've got a PA, designer, videographer.
Yeah.
Actually, there's 3 of us. 3 of us.
Any role like with marketing? Who does the marketing?
You know what? I just do it all myself. That's me.
I actually saw a really interesting thing the other day when the tube strikes were on.
Okay.
Of Lime. They did like Bakerloo Lime, Central Lime for all the tube stations.
Okay.
And then underneath there was like, we always have Lime or something. I don't know what it was, but I thought it was really good performance marketing. How long do you normally spend on your marketing? Is it quite a long process? Or?
You're going to be... It's going to sound so mad, because obviously I told you before, we've sold 1,000 T-shirts now in the first 24 hours. Bro, 20, 30 minutes. Bro, me and the team can cook up a TikTok knowing it'll get 10, 15, 20k views in a few hours. Very, very easily.
Where do you want your brand to be in like 3 to 5 years?
In 3 to 5 years, we've already got a time stamp to be quicker, that we already will be in Harvey Nichols, End and Selfridges.
Awesome. I love End as well, yeah.
Just because, once again, the phone book, the connections are there.
If we was to dive back into like your entrepreneurial journey into clothing, if you had a piece of advice for a guy starting out on diving into opportunity, how would you mentally, if you were somebody who wanted to start online business or a clothing company, what are the first steps that you'd recommend them going through to basically pick what they want from their life?
I would watch people you want to inspire to be like. Let's say if someone's inspired of me.
Yeah.
Go sit and watch through all my content.
For sure.
Like me, I still watch Iman. Most days.
I love Iman. It's great.
So many days I watch him. Even before I came on the podcast, I watched a few of his podcasts.
Yeah. What inspires you about him?
It's his morals. It's the way he speaks. It's the lifestyle. Granted, people could say he's a course seller. He's not a course seller.
Yeah.
To me, that doesn't make a difference. I still see him as a killer entrepreneur.
Definitely. I think actually what he's built is...
And it's mad. Do you know what? I would say we got the same tattoo.
Nice. Okay, sick.
Have you heard the story behind that tattoo?
I've briefly, but you can fill me in on it.
Right, so the private victories is the victories that are between you, yourself, and I.
Yeah.
What other people do not see. They're a public victory. And then the way he ends it, he goes, I have it on my left wrist because normally I have he had an RM on.
Yeah.
He goes, I have a 200 grand watch on my wrist, and that's a public victory.
Sure.
But no one sees what it took to get to this life.
Do you know what's interesting? I don't think a mental framework, which is super interesting to me, is people never see the things that you don't do. So if there's an option to do something bad, people never see that.
No.
Which I think is super interesting. And you have to have the right moral compass to avoid doing bad things, if people see it or not. Like, understand that your karma in your brain, you're still gonna have to remember it. Like, always do right. For you now, you've got the nice watches, you've got the nice cars, you've built a life that most people dream of at 23. What does kind of like freedom look like to you now? What's your thing that you want to
Not answering to a boss.
Yeah. Is it always been that, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been the most academic, as I'm dyslexic.
I'm dyslexic as well, likewise.
Speak very well for a dyslexic person.
Well, I'll tell you what's interesting about dyslexia is you don't actually, when a normal person would put every bit of information in the box and consume it all, we just pick the interesting bits and we choose a different route, right? So it's like at school, I'm sure you probably experienced this if you're dyslexic, is everyone is solving something this way,
but we do it a completely different way.
May take you longer, but you do it in a completely which makes you unique.
I feel like we do things in the easier way.
Yeah.
We find the easiest solution that no one actually thinks of.
Yeah, 100%.
I say this in my GCSEs, I cheated in my GCSEs.
Sure. I didn't do them.
There we go.
No, I did do them, I'm joking. But me and my best mate were talking the whole way through it. So
I manipulated the teacher to give me the answers.
And you do it in a way where it's like, it's almost, it can be quite threatening to people because they can't box you in.
When I first became an entrepreneur, I Googled which entrepreneurs had dyslexia because I just thought, I've got this. Teachers always told me you couldn't.
Tommy Mallet.
There's a few.
Yeah.
Jamie Oliver,
yeah.
Richard Branson.
Richard Branson's great. Yeah.
These are all very, very successful entrepreneurs.
Richard Branson can't even read a spreadsheet.
Bet he can read his bank account though, can't
he can read his bank account. And he can definitely network with people and manage people. He was apparently, Richard Branson was never the best business guy. He was the best team builder. That's why I always say with like CEOs, they're not actually the most intelligent, but they're just good with people. They can build
They delegate
stuff.
jobs.
Yeah.
I would say I'm very good at delegating jobs that I'm not the best at, but that work.
Yeah. And I'm also, for me, one of my skill sets is I'm good at getting somebody to believe in the mission at hand and say, you know what, whilst I'm building this with you, I want you to learn off me so then you could do it yourself and I'll let you fly away, right? I'm not going to keep you. I'm not going to try and hold you down. I want you to fly, and when the time's right, go and do it.
Yeah.
Which I think is a lot better way to approach it. It's like another business piece of advice I'll give people is, if you want an editor or you want somebody to do a certain role in your business, it has to be a team effort, right? And it has to be something that you all compile and say, this is the bigger mission at hand. He's the face of it. You look at E-Man, go back to E-Man. He's got Amara, he's got Alex, right? Amara is actually the real content marketing engine behind the whole operation, and Alex is the one filming it. So E-Man's just a face, but the actual business itself, it's all run by all of them.
I would say Amara is like the definition of a dream wife.
She's fantastic. Amara's great.
You see, you've got to say it's great minds.
Amara's fantastic. And
might drop her a message while I'm in London.
Do you have any siblings?
Little sister.
Little sister. How's that kind of shaped your view on things?
I think anyone who knows me will know what me and my sister are like.
Yeah.
Like, that is my best friend.
I've got an older sister, so like.
So she'll, yeah. My sister could say to me tomorrow, I want something. And it doesn't matter. If I didn't have the money, I would make sure I got it.
Make sure you got it.
100%.
I think with my sister, she's really given me the ability to be spiritual in a way.
Yeah.
And I think something actually Jack mentioned on the first podcast I did was women can identify when something's about to happen, and you should listen to their intuition. That's why they call it Mother Nature, right?
I was going to say that's one thing I look for in a woman. I want to look for a woman who I could put at a business deal with me. sitting at the end of the table. And I'd ask her at the end of the meal, should I do business with that person? Because a gut instinct for a woman is the strongest type of thing.
Yeah, she's going to understand.
She's going to know.
Yeah, she's going to know, for sure. In your spare time, do you read? Do you watch films?
I can't read.
Can't read?
No, I can't. I can't.
What's your go-to? What's your favourite film? Stuff like that.
Oh, there's one film, and I'll live by it, and The Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street, fantastic.
Why, what's yours?
Mine's probably Scarface, but I do have a few. I relate a lot to a movie called Speed Racer.
Okay.
Right, in the movie, he's got a car. It's called the Mach 5. But when he's driving, he's got an M on the front and a 6 on the side. And I envision my story to be very similar to him. I grew up in a situation where he had the same thing of he's got somebody leading him down a path that also in the movie actually looks very similar to him. His name is Mr. Royalton. And he's trying to make him sign a deal he doesn't want to sign. And to be a part of something that he knows is not driving him towards his mission. And he gets casted out in the film. And basically it's a case of, if you don't do as you're told, we will put you in this box, right? And for me, I've always felt like it relates a lot to me with that film, because towards the end, he's listening to why he should do the thing. And there's a line in the film where he says, racing doesn't have to change, right? Life doesn't have to change. You just need to make the decision whether you want to do it or not anymore, right? But in the movie, his brother pretends that he passed away when he didn't.
Yeah.
And I look at that film and I always think it just makes a lot of sense to me, because it's just a similar situation of what I've been through. Why does Wolf of Wall Street tick the box for you?
I feel like if you ask 80% of male, they're going to say that's their favourite film. I feel like it's just a dream life.
It's a great film, yeah. Because he's got that rebelness in it, and it's like...
Margot Robbie,
yeah, you get the dream wife.
Of course.
You get the dream car.
But yeah, I don't know, I feel like at one point, we'll touch into it because it was part of the journey. When obviously with Forex, it's kind of like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is like the Forex kind of industry.
For sure, yeah.
Stocks,
yeah.
At one point in my life, that's what I wanted to do. Obviously, it's not anymore. But yeah.
Yeah, super interesting. I think another thing as well with that film, it's you actually learn. It's quite educational.
I could watch it over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's a very easy watch.
Easy watch.
Yeah, I think films has actually taught me a lot about my life.
I'm not a very filmy guy though. Like I don't really watch films.
I think when you look at a film, the fact that it paints a story of a life, I think I like the idea of my life being a film and being a movie, and there's little stages to the film, and when I tick off that level, I'm bumping up the level. It's like a video game, right?
I've got another one. Great Gatsby.
Great Gatsby's great. I've never really properly I've watched it once or twice, but I couldn't say that.
I like the whole old money aesthetic in it.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Is that Spider-Man? Is it? Spider-Man, one of the characters, is
Yes.
Yes.
He's one who lives in the house outside the Gatsby.
Yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio is a fantastic actor as well.
100%.
Who have you got? Leonardo DiCaprio or Brad Pitt? Who's better?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Al Pacino or Robert De Niro?
Don't know who any of them are.
Don't know.
No idea.
Not got the film buff in you.
Wait, who? What?
Al Pacino, Robert De Niro.
What film's he in?
Al Pacino, Scarface. Robert De Niro is probably, I'm trying to think, commonly film that you'll see him in. It's Goodfellas, maybe.
Oh, Scarface.
All day. Yeah. I love Al Pacino. Al Pacino.
I don't know people by names. I know people by faces.
By faces, yeah. Have you ever? What's your process like when you're trying to learn? Do you dive into podcasts? Do you dive into books? What's your thing?
I'm more of a visual learner.
Visual learner, yeah.
100%. Or like listening.
Yeah.
Like reading, I just look at it.
To me,
it's just a blank piece of paper.
Yeah.
That might just be the dyslexia, but I do not memorize. If I watch something, then it sticks, and that's normally how I learn. Or I like speaking to people. Like if I sat with you and we had a proper discussion on just a business model,
sure,
I feel like I'd learn proper from that.
It would make more sense, yeah. I think it's interesting because how I always believe the school system has been set up. It's very rigid in its approach, where this is how you learn.
Do you like the school system?
No, I hate it.
Thank you. I can agree with you on that
The
one.
reason why I don't like it is because, one, of the reason that I just mentioned, but also it's not tailored fit to the individual at hand. This is one of the reasons why I got into info products so much, was because I like the idea of the Simon Squibb outlook of dive into what you like as an individual. As soon as you can find out what your passion is, what you enjoy doing, every day's a play day, right? Because you're doing what you love, no matter how much money you earn.
Yeah.
That's why I like info products, because you can design your thing from the ground up. With the school system, I guarantee you, every single person that's listening to this, if you've been to school in the UK, your teacher would have said the words right at the end, "I'm not sure you can do it." You sit down in those rooms and they will teach it out of you. They don't want you to go against the system.
It is just training the next generation up 9 to 5.
It's the Rockefeller system, right? I mean, the Rockefeller system was designed there to create labour workers in factories. You know, not everybody is built like that.
No,
No.
I agree with you.
And also, it's not it doesn't mean that you have to live your life and look down on the people that don't want to chase these things. This is not a problem, right? In the UK, we have created this really, really negative culture of people who are jealous because they haven't got the fame or what you're trying to achieve. Don't look at it from that angle. Just think, am I a good contributor to society?
Yeah.
Can I look back at the end of my life and think, I did good, I was a good person? It's going to fill you up way more than anything else. And I think you try and teach people that, and they will still reject it.
Yeah.
Shouldn't reject it. So, was there anyone growing up, role model wise, that you looked up to?
Looked up to. I would say one person. I feel like it's dead cliche, but I'm gonna say my dad.
Perfect answer.
There's no famous person I've looked at and thought, oh yeah, I want to be exactly like you. My dad.
I think having your dad as your hero is probably one of the greatest
I feel
things.
like your dad is the only person who wants to see you be a better man than he is.
Yeah.
He's the only person. No one else wants to see it, except from your dad.
Yeah, it's so true. Definitely. And you have to kind of take his guidance and be humble. And
My dad, when he watches this, he'll realise, and he'll know exactly what I mean. He knows if I have a problem, I'm running straight to my mum.
Yeah, sure.
Because I know my dad's right, and he's telling me stuff I don't want to hear, but he's right.
Yeah.
My dad's advice is 1,000,000% better than my mum's, but I just don't want to hear it because it's the harsh truth I do not want to hear.
I think that's good though, because for me, I always have to be told the blunt, honest truth. No matter how harsh it is, I can take it. And
I can take it, I don't want to hear it. I feel like in my head, I think it's not the fact that I think, wow, I've achieved more than my dad. It's the fact that some things I don't tell him because I don't want to let him down.
Sure.
And sometimes I don't want him to worry about certain situations. Let's say I'm going into an investment opportunity.
Yeah.
I'd rather keep it to myself, and if it falls through, it falls through. If it goes ahead, then I'll tell him. And he'll be like, why didn't you tell me sooner? It's because I don't want my dad to worry as, I don't know, it's just the fact of, I feel like I'm grown up enough now to make my own decisions. Of course, I've done it since I was 18. But I just don't want him to worry about what's going on in my life, even though that's all he cares about.
I think that's understandable.
That's why I don't run to him. I'd rather run to my mum and be like, oh, well done, Owen, you're doing so well. Then my dad going, you could be doing that, you could be doing that.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think your parents are quite competitive?
It's mad, because if I want proper business advice, as much as I don't want to hear it, I go to my dad. But my mum is the entrepreneur.
Sure.
My mum used to run a florist.
Okay, cool.
Before, like, mainstream shops brought out bouquets and they'd just rather go to Tesco to grab 15 than go spend it on a nice.
Yeah.
But now she owns a cleaning business, which obviously I pushed her to do. Because she's the same as me, she doesn't like to listen to anyone above her.
I think it's interesting as well if you dive into psychology of how the third world people raise their children compared to Western world children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I saw something really interesting the other day, which was you should be raising your children in the Western world to learn how to network, right? Because we are not from an economically bad situation. We are not from a violent situation. In places like Dagestan, you see the Usyks, the Khabibs, right? Financially, maybe they're not that bad, but they're in a dangerous situation. So they're brought up in a way where, you know, they learn how to fight.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important that, you know, one thing I'm really blessed with was that I was exposed to a lot of adults growing up. You know, how my background was I would leave school midweek. I'd go to Norwich, I'd go to Ipswich, I'd stay in digs to play football. I was taken out of school to do adverts. So I was on the Centre Parks advert, right?
You can show me that after.
Yeah, you can have a look. And I was always exposed to older people.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. When I went back to school, I was so different that I found it really difficult to just blend in with the normality of it, because I was doing all this crazy shit in the background. When people would come out, like I remember this girl literally ran up to me and goes, "I saw you on telly last night. I saw you on telly last night." And their mums were like coming up to my parents and stuff, and it was really hard to kind of look at it from that angle and just like to get used to that normality. And one thing my mum always made sure was that I was doing normal things alongside it. But it's prepared me now in my older life, and I'm truly grateful for it. So I think it's interesting, and I think also you can have a loader like a trauma experience. I think you need to, in your older life, overcome that, accept it. How have you been raised? Have you been raised in a way where if your parents overly competitive, you might now be in a situation where you feel pressure to do stuff? If your parents were never competitive and didn't raise you in a way where you have to go after your stuff, you could be really lazy in your situation.
Well, that was what we touched on before when I said kids that come from wealthy backgrounds don't have the drive.
Don't have the drive, yeah.
I think it was a case of when I was growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, but I was surrounded with parents who were giving their kids everything.
Sure.
So I think the hunger comes from that. I was told, not no in a nasty way for certain things I wanted, but no because that's just what my family couldn't afford. So the hunger comes from seeing kids at 13, 14 wear Monclers and Canada Gooses, and I wasn't allowed one. But now I could go to Moncler and Canada Goose and buy as many as I really wanted to.
I want to touch on some advice for the audience watching about diving into being okay with being misunderstood.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a big thing that a lot of people face when they want to go down this entrepreneurial journey. You know, scrutiny from your parents, your friends, and when you increase your consciousness and the truth of the world and how it works, and you understand that you cannot be ignorant to the fact that this is the way that things work, right? At what point in your stage of journey, and what advice would you give for anybody who's scared to being misunderstood? Because here's the thing, right? For me, somebody's going to watch your content.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a 30-second clip.
Yeah.
The likelihood of them getting the full perspective of who you are as an individual is very, very slim. Are you okay with being misunderstood?
It's going to sound very dickheady. I don't give a fuck what people think about me.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a multimillionaire or if you're at the bottom of the barrel. I do not care what anyone thinks of me.
That's the first stage of success to me.
Yeah, because why do I care about his opinion or his opinion?
Yeah.
I don't care what both your opinions are. I'm still going to go out and get it. It doesn't bother me at all.
Definitely.
But being misunderstood, people are scared of it. People are scared of it because they think it's weird to be different.
I think having just an opinion, it makes you a person. You know, you can't walk through life and just everything's fairies and rainbows.
No.
And, you know, you stand on both sides of the fence. Like
you need to get kicked down a few times.
100%. I think now more than ever, if you take like a visual perspective, if you look from the top of the boat instead of being on the boat driving it, or sailing it, sorry. You know, most people, they want to sit in the crowd and they want to laugh at the person who's had the bollocks to go and do what they were afraid to do.
I could sit on a TikTok live with 400 or 500 people on it, and it's always user something, giving hate.
Sure.
But not brave enough to go on their own thingy. And my straight comment every single time is, you must be very insecure. Because I've never hated on someone who's doing better than me.
Well, it's not a natural state to do that, in my opinion. You don't, when you're on your mission, when you're on your purpose, you know, there's times in your life, everything evolves, everything changes. I always say it's like a pendulum, right? what has happened before will happen again. There is nothing that's happened now in the world since time has begun that is not going to happen again. And that is the best predictor of where the future is going to be. So if you want to predict the future, you can do that. You can manifest. I don't always say that I'm the best manifester of locations, of environments, but I'm great at manifesting people, which is something that for me personally has been very weird. I can picture somebody I'm going to meet and then I'll go and meet them.
Okay.
Whereas my sister, she's a bit different. She'll picture a location, she'll end up there for some reason. So,
see, mine's more items.
Items, yeah.
I will say I'll have stuff saved in my camera roll like 7-8 months. I completely forget about it.
Yeah.
And then I just on that day when I want it, not knowing I've saved it, and then when I'm scrolling to find a picture for someone, I'll be like, oh my God.
I've got it. Yeah, it's bizarre. No, it is really weird how that works. But that is proof to me that we are these energy exchanging creatures. And if you don't actually worship, in my opinion, maybe not even worship, but just have the understanding that, you know, we live in a very crazy situation right now where religion plays a factor, this plays a factor. But as long as you're not worshipping your own identity, I think you'll be okay. And I think you'll be able to deal with life's obstacles. I think the problem is now is people worship their own identity too much of who am I? Like, what do people think? Why do they think that?
Yeah.
You know, you can't dictate what people think about
And
you.
that's why I said I do not, that's me, I just don't give a fuck what people think. My dad will say it to me all the time. He'll be like, oh, you posted a TikTok or an Instagram story. And my old friends, I've got fine, I used to play football with them. They're at the pub and they'll say to my dad, oh, Owen posted this, Owen posted that. And he'll come back to me and goes, well, the boys have come over and said that you've posted this. And I'll go, as much as I was friends with them in school, I'm on a completely different life path now. And I do not give a fuck what they say about me.
Sure.
That's what it is. I said, you're not going to agree with everything I post. Some things are to gain views. Some people is to rage bait because, as you know on social media, controversial stuff brings in views. And what does views bring in? It sounds so stupid, but it does. Views brings in money.
I won't mention the person's name, but there's somebody who's done something really interesting recently who I've been watching on a podcast. And I won't say if it's male or female, but...
Will you tell me after?
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
What they have done is an evolution of a societal ill that we have instilled in society that nobody has caught up to yet, right? And what I mean by this is we as humans are builders and evolvers. We are creators. When you are in the state of creation, of building your life, of building your clothing brand or whatever it is, it will evolve into something that you may not even know is going to happen yet.
Correct.
Right? So it's very difficult to predict the future. But one thing I want people to do and walk away from what I'm saying is just be able to identify the patterns, because everything has a pattern to it. If you look at COVID, during COVID, there were so many patterns that they introduced that people missed. You know, ask yourself this question, right? If you can understand what somebody wants you to believe and then depack it, your next aim should be to then go and experience it. The hospitals are overrun. What did me and my dad do? We went down and checked the hospitals. Looked empty to me. You know, that's one pattern. Now we've got that bit of evidence. Gain the evidence for yourself. Depack it. Because the problem is, humans, we are perceiving creatures, you know. I can manipulate for you to do this.
Yeah.
If you don't understand what somebody wants you to believe, you might end up there by accident. Which is a dangerous thing. So if you can spot the patterns, the game becomes a lot easier.
Life is a game.
Life is a game, bro. Like, you just have to view it like that. It becomes a lot more fun when you view it like that. You don't put as much pressure on yourself. There's no right or wrong thing to do. If your brand was a song, what song would it be?
Okay, give me a sec. Ready?
Go for it.
Do you know which song it is?
I'm going to have to listen to it. A little interlude.
I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that,
to shine like this, no matter. Oh, that's what song.
Nice one, bro. We've had an amazing conversation. I've really enjoyed having you
Same.
on.
Thank you,
in light of the podcast being called Manners Maketh Man, what is one manner every man should take into his life?
You know what? Because I've got it tattooed on me, I feel like it's the perfect one. Respect.
Respect.
100%.
Move with respect for everything.
In any aspect of life. Friends, family, women, business. Respect.
Nice one, bro. Pleasure having you on, mate.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much.
Top man.